So today we are making a video on the Nobara project 40. So here is the boot menu of the Nobara. So let's quickly boot it in a live boot. So the ISO file was released like a few hours ago. So this is the KDE Plasma desktop environment of Nobara. So there is another two editions like a GNOME edition and the flagship edition. So I'm running it on a virtual machine with 80 GB of, not the 80 GB, it's a 60 GB of hard disk and 8 GB of RAM, and I have like a CPU with a i5 1240p. So there will be a misspeaking and mistakes throughout the video because I'm going to keep the video raw as possible, so there will be some mistakes. So I hope you try to ignore that type of things. So I'm going to edit only the boot part because I want to keep the video as raw as possible so you can see all the changes without missing anything. So that's the reason. So usually the boot process or the booting will take up to like 2 or 3 minutes in my laptop. So it should be more or less in every type of PC. So it depends on the hardware specs and whether the ISO file is stable or not. So I'm going to stop talking right now because I want to trim this part. So let me keep quiet. So here is the welcome screen or the desktop. So I already mentioned that I'm using a KDE Plasma desktop environment. As you can see, there is like a bit of lag. So there is like a, the mouse pointer is not properly smooth running. As you can see, there is a bit of lag. So and you get the installation as a welcome screen. So let's first change the display settings. So you get the latest KDE Plasma desktop environment. So the installation, I'm going to close the installation first because I'm going to show everything first, then go with the installation process. So let's first open the system monitor and see how much of resources it's consuming. So let's scroll it. Here is the system monitor. So you get the GNOME 46 in the GNOME desktop environment ISO file, and the KDE Plasma version I'm going to show you. It should be like a 6.1.1, but I'm going to show it for you. So let's first check the system monitor. So it is taking a lot of time for some reason. So the KDE Plasma shouldn't take this much of time, and this is the reason. CPU is almost 100%. So that's the reason. So 1.7 GB of RAM it's consuming, and here is the free space, and the CPU is completely 100%. And the KDE Plasma version you get is 6.1.1, which I already mentioned in the beginning or just a few seconds ago. Qt version 6.7.2. Operating system is Nobara Linux 40, and the KDE frameworks version is 6.3.0. So these are all the applications running right now. I didn't run any of the applications. So this is the basic or the starting system resources. You should be seeing all this application running in the beginning. So we didn't even change the display settings by going to settings. I just clicked on the VMware, so it automatically changes the resolution. And we need to run like a CPU for a minute to get the stable graph. So I'm going to leave it like that. And memory is almost like a 1.7 GB, and there is a major lag, as you can see. So it's a stable ISO file, but I don't know, for some reason it's laggy. So the process, it's not pretty much smooth. Usually the stable ISO file should be smooth, like Manjaro Linux or the Ubuntu and some type of Linux distros you already know. But the Nobara project or the Nobara Linux is a bit of laggy. I can't even scroll the mouse bar, so it's taking a bit of time. Let's hope it's going to be fixed in a few minutes, I guess. CPU is almost going crazy. So as you can see, it's going down and it's going up, so it's pretty much not stable. So I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner throughout the video so you can see all the changes, and we already have the updates here. So I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner, so let me do that. So like this, I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner. So let's open the Firefox web browser and go to their official website and see what are the changes in the Nobara project 40. So if you want another video of a Nobara project with the GNOME edition and the other edition, which should be like a flagship edition or something, I don't really know what the name it's called. But if you want those videos also, do let me know in the comment section. I will be making that video also. So you can test all the, you can watch all the 3 desktop environments and you can decide whether to whatever desktop environment you like from that video. So there is a bit of delay or the lag because of the CPU, and RAM went almost 2.1 GB just for the Firefox web browser. So we need to try to make the video with this lag. So I don't know how it performs on the virtual disk when you install it. So can't even move the browser because of that major lag. So as you can see, there is a heavy lag. So it shouldn't be like this, but CPU is almost 100%. So even if we have like a KDE Plasma desktop environment, we are still facing the lag. So let me type in about support. About support. Everything, because it's going to make a video lengthy. So here are some of the information like window protocol, it's a VLAN, desktop environment, KDE. So you can just pause the video and read everything, like a display resolution. Some of the information will be important, so just pause the video and read everything. So let's go to the official website now. Nobara Linux. So this is the link, which is called nobaraproject.org. So I already made a lot of videos on the Nobara Linux in my channel. If you want to check that out, you can check that out. So let's go to the changelog and find the 40 version. So here is the version 40 after a long period, which is considered for several delays. So there is some information here, you can just go with that. So different things here you get is KDE Plasma 6.1.1, Mesa and the GNOME 46 and the NVIDIA 555 drivers. So here is some of the information, system updates, flatpaks and snaps, and the theming, the desktop environment, graphics, game scope session. Here are some of the gaming information, content creation information, which is OBS Studios. You should be getting this information or the this version. Hardware support, you get the 6.8.12. we are testing 6.10. 6.9 was a mess with various issues, so we skipped it. So miscellaneous changes, here are some of the miscellaneous changes. So you get all the information here. In order to download, I'm going to show you the download process. You can go to their official website and check all the information by your own, or else you can just pause the video and read everything from here only. Let's click on download. So here we offer 5 versions of Nobara: official, GNOME, KDE, Steam HTPC and Steam handheld. So we have all the ISO files here. Here are the standard. I didn't download the standard version, I downloaded the KDE Plasma. So I thought it will be working properly, but the CPU, as you can see, everything is right in front of you. I didn't thought that will be an issue. So I thought KDE Plasma will be good, but it's almost 100%. So if you want the GNOME version or other version, which is a standard version, which is right here, official version, I will make a video. Do let me know in the comment section. So I downloaded the KDE, so let me download the KDE. So here is the user agreement. If you want, you can read everything. It's a good option to read everything. So I'm going to click on download. So you need to see the version Nobara 40 whatever the desktop environment you are downloading, and the 2024/7/17. So this should be the file. So let me close it. We pretty much got everything from the browser, so let me close the browser. So let me open the terminal and let's try to find the distro information. Let me open the console. So because of the heavy lag of the CPU, I can't even properly move my mouse cursor, so that's an issue. So that's the reason I always say, even if it's a stable release, always wait for a week, and then if you want to update, you can update, because there should be some point updates if they had any issues. So that's the reason, never update or never install the stable ISO or the beta version as soon as they released. You need to wait for at least a week for good information. So you need to watch like YouTube channels, whoever makes the latest news or the latest versions of that specific Linux distro, and you need to watch. If everything is good, you need to download and try it on your own. So you can try this Linux distros on the virtual machine, because you can even delete the virtual machines later if anything happened. So it's always a good option to try it in the virtual machines. If you don't have the virtual machines, and if you can't run the virtual machine on your PCs, so you can go with the live boot and try it on your own. So let's check the console. Let's check the version. Here is the version. Let me type in INXI. So CPU, the kernel you get is 6.8.12-201. So you can just pause the video and read every information right here. Let me type in INXI -small b. So here the host, the desktop, and the distro information, the machine, CPU, graphics. Here is XVLAN. So here is the Mesa version, OpenGL. So you get all the information. Just pause the video and read everything on your own to get all the information. INXI-G. You need to wait for a few seconds. INXI-F. So here is the information. Let's try the NeoFetch. Here is the NeoFetch. INXI-SV8. So you got all the complete distro information on your own. So just pause the video and read every information here. So you need to, if you have like a 39 version of a Nobara, you can just pause my video and read everything. So you should be seeing all the changes, because you know what versions are working in the Nobara 39, and in the Nobara 40 these are all the changes. So let me type in cat:/etc/issue. Let's try the hashtag. So we got pretty much every information. So let me exit. So here is the updates. So it's going to take a few seconds. Loading packages. This may take a little while. Downloading repositories, information for Nobara base 40. So I think it's going to take a few seconds here. So let's check some other features of a desktop. So here it's same desktop, which is you know, the changes in the KDE Plasma 6.1 or the 6. So you should be seeing all those changes from here also. So there is no changes in the desktop features. Same the 6. KDE Plasma desktop environment. So let's keep it all the applications. So here are the applications you get: the Fedora Media Writer. So other than that, you get the installer from the Nobara project, and the LibreOffice are added already. So you get the Nobara Driver Manager, NVIDIA Wizard, the Nobara Package Manager, OpenRGB, Proton Plus, and the welcome to Nobara welcome screen, and that's it. And others are from the KDE Plasma desktop environment. So you get these applications from Nobara, and you get all the basic KDE Plasma desktop environment applications. So these are all the applications you get. So you don't get any bloatware other than some few normal apps. So that's a good thing. So here are the updates. Here are the flat packs. Here is the queue. If you want, you can update the system. Let's check about YAM extender. So the version you get is here. Let me close it. Let me open the installer. Let me double click it. So it's going to take a few seconds. So here we have the installer. So let me first change the language, American English. So let's check about. So Calamares version you get is a 3.3.6. So the Calamares installer, you know how to install the Linux distro. If you don't know how to install the Linux distros on your virtual disk or a main disk, you need to watch other channels for that tutorial, because I made a lot of videos, but I don't really remember in which video I installed on that virtual disk or hard disk. And also my videos will be way lengthy, because I'm going to show everything in the everything in that video. So that's the reason my videos will be lengthy, like a 20 or 30 minutes. So it's a good option to watch like a shorts, or maybe the installation of Linux in the virtual disk of other channels with shorter tutorials. So you need to get the information of clearly almost everything. You don't need to skip anything, because it's going to ruin your PC. So always check all the installation and then go with the installation if you want. So the best tip is to always try it in the live boot or the virtual disk, and then go with the main disk or a hard disk, or your main PC or work PC. So it should be safe. So always install the stable ISO files. Never install the beta versions or anything like that. So because there should be a lot of issues in the beta versions or the development ISO files. So always download the stable ISO file, or just wait for the stable ISO file. So here this location, you can choose your location by clicking on the map, or you can choose the drop down menu. And the system language will be set to American English United States. You can customize if you want. The numbers and date locales will be set to American English. If you want, you can keep it or you can change it. So let's click on next. So here is the keyboard model. Choose your keyboard model by clicking on drop down menu. Mine is Dell. I'm going to choose the Dell. So choose your language here, and keyboard models here with the default one or the other symbols or all those things. If you want to type here and test your keyboard, you can do that. And if you want to switch your keyboard, you can choose the drop down menu. Click on next. So you should be seeing erase disk and manual partitioning, and you need to choose your hard disk here. You need to properly choose your hard disk if you have a multiple hard disk. So if it's a virtual disk, you can just do whatever you want, because you can create a virtual disk later, or you can delete that virtual disk after you work on the Linux. So you get the erase disk and the manual partitioning. So I'm going to say the basic things so you can understand properly. So the erase disk is like a single boot option. You should be getting the installed if you choose the Nobara Linux, for example. So whatever the hard disk you choose, it's going to erase everything. It's going to delete everything, like a media files, or else if you have an operating system in that hard disk, it's going to erase everything, and it's going to install the Nobara project or the Nobara Linux 40. So that's the erase disk or the single boot. Here you have the options, And the manual partitioning is like a dual boot options or the dual operating systems. You need to create a partitions before choosing the manual partition. So if you want like a dual operating system, whatever you are running with current operating system and the Nobara project, you can do that by creating a partitions. So if you don't know anything about this, you need to watch videos for proper installation. So be careful because it's going to erase if you choose erase disk, and choose the proper hard disk. So you can watch other tutorials of how to choose the proper hard disk, or if you don't know what hard disk you want to install, you can check tutorials, because all the videos will be available in the YouTube, so you don't need to worry about. So you need to just patiently watch all those videos for the installation. So if you are a pro user, you don't need to watch all these things, you can just skip to the main part. So you get the encryption here. You can provide the password in both the boxes if you want, or else you can just uncheck this. So again, the installation is also taking a bit of time here. So bootloader location, the defaults will be like this. So if you want to do not install bootloader, you can do that later after installing. So after choosing everything, click on next. You need to provide the username, login, computer name, and all those things. So let me type in some random things for the sake of the video. 9to5 Linux. What name do you want to use to log in? Unboxing. So what is the name of this computer? If you want to keep that like that, you can do that, or you can change whatever you want. And for the password, you need to provide the password. Write down the password in the note apps in the phone, or else in the books. So you need to remember the password because you need to log in with that password. So if everything is going good, you should be seeing a tick mark right here, or else you should be seeing like this, your password do not match, and X mark. So you can't install, or you can go with the next. So let me type in the password. So if you want to log in automatically without asking for the password, check this button. Use the same password for the administrator account. If you want, you can do that, or you can provide the different password. It's clearly up to you. After clicking on next, you should be seeing the summary of whatever you chose in the previous installation steps. So if everything is good, click on install. So if anything is wrong, you can just go back and do that all the changes properly. So after clicking on install, it's going to take like a 20 to 25 minutes, more or less, depends on the PC and the ISO file, whether it's a stable or a development version ISO file. So after 20 to 25 minutes, it's going to be installed on your hard disk. So if you are chosen in the virtual disk, you need to remove the CD and you need to restart it. So you should be good with the Nobara Linux installed on the virtual disk. But if you installed on the hard disk, so you know how to it automatically restarts in the hard disk. If you have like a dual operating system, so you should be having an option of Nobara and the current operating system in the boot menu. So that's the installation process. I'm not going to install because I need to make another video, so that's the reason. So again, it's consuming a lot of resources, so you need to understand that. So for the testing process, or if you are a distro hopper, you can try it in the virtual disk, but I don't really recommend right now to install the Nobara project, because in my case it's consuming a lot of resources. So in the beginning it was taking almost, still now it's consuming 90% of the CPU, and I have the latest CPU which is i5 1240p, so I already mentioned that also. So RAM is pretty much good, 2.2 GB, and it's running on the RAM right now, so that's the reason it's 2.2 GB. When you install it on the virtual disk or a main disk, the RAM should be like a 400-500 MB more or less. So you should be seeing 300-400 MB. That's the maximum changes when you install it on the hard disk and when you run on the virtual machine. So that's the difference you see. You don't see anything like a 1 GB or 2 GB, 1.5 GB for difference when you install it on the hard disk versus the running on RAM. So let's check some of the features. So we pretty much covered everything. So let me check the desktop backgrounds, and we're going to do a stress test. So these are all the wallpapers you get from the Nobara project or the Nobara 40 KDE Plasma desktop environment. So you pretty much got all the wallpapers from the KDE Plasma itself. So I don't know what wallpapers is added from the Nobara. I think the Woha should be added from the Nobara project, I guess. So no, everything is from the KDE Plasma. So there is nothing added from the Nobara project. So about, here is the about. So let me finally do the stress test. So people who don't know what is stress test in my channel, so the RAM, or not the RAM, the system monitor closed for some reason. So let's try to open it again. So it closed automatically without any errors. I'm going to keep the system monitor in the right side corner again. So because of the heavy lag, I can't even properly move the applications also. As you can see, again, can't properly move, and the mouse pointer is not properly doing its job. Let's try to, so it's very hard to move the application. I don't know why it's consuming that much of resources. I'm trying to move the system monitor. Instead of moving the system monitor, it's maximizing, as you can see. So let me close the, instead of closing, let me keep it like this. So let's open the applications. So I forgot to say that meaning of the stress test in my channel. So the meaning of the stress test in my channel is like opening all the applications, like applications which consumes a bit of heavy resources, and to see whether it will crash or not. So you can decide on that whether to use this Linux version or not. So basically it's like if you don't get any pop-ups or warnings or like a not responding or errors, anything like this, so it should be good to install on the virtual disk or a main disk. So let's try to open some applications which consumes a lot of resources. So we have just few applications. We don't have major applications which consumes resources like a GIMP, not the exactly GIMP, because these are some applications which consumes a bit of resources, like a Blender, GIMP, Krita. So when you open like a 5 to 6 applications which consumes a lot of resources, you should be getting the exact answer whether to use that version, or you can just wait for the other versions or the previous version. You can install those things. So right now the KDE Plasma version is pretty much laggy. So let's see how it works. You can't judge only on the, don't decide just on the stress test. You need to see all those things, like you downloaded the stable ISO file or the how much of resources it's consuming. So you need to get all the information from every possible thing, and then decide and then judge whether to use this Linux distro or not, or that specific version. So right now in the Nobara project KDE Plasma version, it's a bit of lag, and I can't even move the applications. That's the issue for me. I don't know what's the issue will be for you. So in my PC it's doing all this type of things. So the mouse cursor is you can't even use anything smoothly, so that's the issue. So this is also the stable ISO file. It's not a development ISO file or the beta version. So this is a stable ISO file, and we are seeing this type of issue. So if you want to try to test it, do it in the live boot or in the virtual machine, and do let me know in the comment section how it's going on your PC. So in my PC, these are all the issues which I already mentioned from the beginning. So you should be seeing all those a lot of resource consuming, and because of the CPU consuming a lot, so there is a major lag, and the mouse cursor isn't properly working. For that reason, the mouse pointer isn't properly doing its thing. Let me open Steam. So I already showed what are the pre-installed applications from the Nobara project you get. So there is a major lag again because of the Steam, so you can ignore that. So there is a heavy lag because of few applications, and I think we pretty much opened the basic applications which consumes a bit of resources. Let me open the ELISA also, so we can make the stress test harder, so we can get the proper information. Let's open the system monitor, and as you can see, it's almost 4 GB just for a few applications, not the heavy resource consuming applications, just a few applications. Firefox, for some reason, it's consuming 555 MB, and the Nobara package manager, it's almost 200 MB. Let's go to the applications in the system monitor. You get, and you can judge on those things whether to use this Linux distro or not, or else the Linux specific version. So the Nobara 3938 was pretty much good, but this version is pretty much has issues. I don't know, but in my PC it's pretty much hard to use because of the CPU, or a lot of CPU resource consuming. So the Firefox is consuming a lot, and the Discover, Nobara project, as you can see, all those things are consuming a lot of resources. Let's go with the history and see. CPU is almost 100%, so that's the issue. So try to test this in the virtual machine and live boot, and do let me know in the comment section, so it will help others and me too, so whether to use that specific desktop environment or not. So if you want other desktop environment for Nobara, do let me know in the comment section. I'm going to make that videos also, so you can judge whether to use the KDE Plasma version or the GNOME version or the flagship version. So 4.5 GB of RAM just for basic applications. These are not the heavy resource consuming applications, just some like Inkscape, LibreOffice, and some two applications will I don't know why it's consuming this much of resources. So these are my results, and this is my test after running the Nobara Linux. So let's check the version and end the video because it's way too laggy. So, and we pretty much covered everything, so I don't think there is nothing left in the video. So you get the ELISA 24.05, and the version of the KDE, you should be getting all the applications from the KDE version should be 24. So let me close. So the ELISA media player is also not instantly closing, and let's check the Kate. You get pretty much every version with the 24.05.0 of every KDE Plasma desktop applications. So that should be the version from everything. So here is the Discover. You can install all the applications if you want from here. So there is a major lag, so that's a bad thing to use. Let's check the Oakler, the same version. You get the 24. Let me close. Let me see the LibreOffice version. There you get the 24.2.4.2. Let's close it. So here is the update system. Let me check other applications. We already saw the Kate. So it's pretty much consuming a lot of resources right now. So we still opened one tab. We didn't open a lot of tabs in the browser. So the Firefox web browser is also consuming a lot of resource. I just opened only a single tab. Just for single tab, it's consuming a lot of resources. So even after closing some of applications, we're still getting a lot of lag. Here is the help. Let's check the Dolphin file manager. About Dolphin, you get the 24.05.0. So in the background, the updates are running. So we don't want to download the Steam right now because it's pretty much end of the video. So here are the folders. You can view and customize if you want. So here is the Discover. Let me close. Before that, let's check About. Here is the About. Let me try to close the applications because of the major lag. So here are the updates you are getting. So let's try to scroll it. So these are all the updates. So you can just pause the video and read everything. So I'm going to close it. Let me close the update system. Let's hope it will close. So here is the Inkscape. Let's check the version. So it says as a 1.3.2. Let's see what version we are getting. Again a major lag or just frozen. Let's check the system monitor. Problems with the media packages detected. Do you want to repair them now? I don't want to. So here is the RAM. It's going down. Let me check the version about the Inkscape. Here is the version. So we pretty much covered everything. So this is the result of the Nobara 40 KDE Plasma version. Let me close it. So at the end of the video, these are all the resources running right now, and these are all the applications running in the background. As you can see, applications. Let's check the history. CPU is not even a stable. Process. These are all the process running right now. So my final thoughts, I already mentioned everything. There is a major lag in this KDE Plasma version of Nobara. So I think I'm going to end the video. Here is the host remote play. So those are my final thoughts. So it's clearly up to you to whether to test it or not. So if you want another video of a Nobara project with a different desktop environment, which is GNOME version, so you can compare those videos and go with the best desktop environment. So I'll be making 2 videos daily without missing any day. So if you want to consider subscribing, you can subscribe. So thanks for watching. Peace out.